Is this the time of trouble? Are we in or fast approaching God's day of battle and war? Just exactly how will God conduct this battle and war? Who is God? Where is God? What is His name? Do I really have the reality of God? It is my hope to explore and hopefully answer these questions on this DVD. This is an actual picture of the galaxy we live in. It is called the Milky Way. It contains billions and billions of stars. As you can see, there appears to be a yellow line through the center of the photograph. This is the region where most of the stars of our galaxy is located or concentrated. For purposes of our discussion, we would like to reference an artist's conceptual top view picture of the Milky Way. Notice how it resembles a wheel or circle. Our solar system's relative position would be here. Okay, I just want to cover some basics here to make sure we continue to be on the same page. First, I want you to start thinking in terms of circles or wheels like on your car. As you should know, the Earth and the other planets travel around the Sun in a circular motion. This is known as our solar system or sun system, as solar denotes the Sun. If you imagine the Sun being at the center of a circle and the Earth at the edge of this circle, looking from a top view perspective, we would call this the plane of the Earth's orbit around the Sun, or the ecliptic. We call it ecliptic because Earth's yearly journey around the Sun is not a pure circle. It is a more elliptical or egg shape as opposed to circular. Now we need to cover a little geometry. Okay, when you or a stick stands straight up on the ground, you make what's called a 90-degree angle with the ground, or we can say that you are perpendicular with the ground. We also call this a right angle, which is 90 degrees. We can see from here that a straight line has a total of 180 degrees, 90 degrees on each side of the stick or person standing on the ground. And as you may be aware, there are 360 degrees to a circle, which means there are 4 right angles in a circle, because 4 times 90 is 360. Okay, let's go back and look at the plane of the Earth's orbit around the Sun. We should all know that there are 365 days in a year, which is the time it takes for the Earth to make one trip around the Sun. We also know there are 24 hours in a day. The exact figures are 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds in a day, and 365 and 1/4 days in a year. We understand that it takes a day for the Earth to completely rotate around itself. Now, if we look at the Earth from the Sun, the Earth's orbit is perpendicular or at 90 degrees. However, the Earth's 24-hour daily rotation is not perpendicular to its orbit around the Sun. It is tilted at approximately 23 degrees. This is very important. The Earth's angular tilt of 23 degrees does not change. It stays at 23 degrees year-round. Now I want to caution you, I am not about to teach on astrology. We are going to discuss astronomy. Okay. Surrounding our solar system is a band of stars or constellations commonly referred to as the zodiac. Relative to the Earth's orbit, these stars are fixed in the sky. Throughout the year, as the Earth travels around the Sun, the background of stars or constellations that the Sun rises in changes. So basically, for every month of the year, the sun rises with a particular background of stars behind it, one of the 12 constellations, such as Aries or Cancer or Gemini. Meaning, every month when you face the east, the sun will rise with a different constellations of stars or zodiac behind it. Why? Because each constellation occupies approximately 30 degrees of the circle that surrounds the circle of constellations that surround the Earth, which equates to approximately 30 days of the astronomical circle of stars around our Earth or solar system. Now we are getting a little deeper into astronomy, so bear with me. Remember the 23-degree tilt we discussed earlier? Well, this 23-degree relationship of the Earth to the Sun determines the seasons. When the Earth is tilted toward the Sun, we have summer. The point at which the Earth is tilted closest to the Sun is called the summer solstice. When the Earth is tilted away from the Sun, we have winter. The point at which the Earth is tilted farthest away from the Sun is known as the winter solstice. The summer solstice occurs around June 21st of every year. The winter solstice occurs around December 21st of every year. Notice that the times between the solstices is about 6 months. You notice that during the year the days are either getting shorter or longer, right? Okay, twice a year the day and night are equally divided, meaning that we receive 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of nighttime. These two events are known as equinoxes. We have the spring equinox, which occurs around March 21st of every year, which marks the beginning of the spring equinox, or the spring. And we have the autumn equinox, which marks the beginning of the fall season. This occurs around September 22nd. Notice that these two equinox dates are also 6 months apart. The word equinox is taken from the Latin word equus, meaning equal, and nox, meaning night, thereby meaning equal night or day and night are equal. Now that you understand this, we can move forward. Now we are going to talk about the precession of the equinoxes. Don't let this fancy term intimidate you because it is easy to understand. Remember that I told you that approximately every month the sun rises in the sky with a different constellation behind it. Okay, for example, let's say that every March the constellation that the sun rises in is the constellation of Cancer. So year after year during your lifetime, every March 21st, when you face the east, at sunrise, the constellation of stars you would observe would be the constellation of Cancer. You understand? Okay, now we're getting to the nitty gritty. You're going to have to pay close attention to what I'm about to say next. Remember the 23 degree inclination of the Earth? Okay, the 23 inclination of the Earth, although it never changes from 23 degrees, it rotates or wobbles in a circular fashion. It takes about 25,000 years for the inclination to make a complete circle. Just look at the animation. Actually, according to what they teach in astronomy today, the number is closer to 25,800. Remember, the Earth or our solar system is surrounded by a set of relative fixed constellations. We recognize 12 constellations surrounding us. If you divide 12 into 25,000 years, or 25,800 years, you get the figures of roughly 2,000 years or 2,150 years. Okay, roughly speaking, every 2,000 years, the Earth is inclined or point towards a new constellations during the spring equinox, or March 21st. Now, if we go back to my example concerning every March the constellation would be Cancer, well, in 2,000 years, the next constellation that the sun will start to rise in the month of March on the equinox would be the constellation of Gemini. This is the precession of the equinoxes. For the sun to rise in all 12 constellations